Greetings, Earthlings, wisdom keepers, wisdom seekers. Welcome back to Wizdom Dropz, your source for daily drops of wisdom and savvy cat astrology. My name is Tanya, and today we are talking about a topic in astrology which I am very passionate about, and that is my birth chart a total determiner of my faith? Is my birth chart set in stone? Am I doomed? Am I like permanently locked in to whatever my birth chart says about me? P.S. Serious flooding, climate change is real. Flash floods have been on just incredible rise where I'm at. Anyway, let's get back to the video. And that's a good question, right? Are you locked into this karma? Are you just totally at fate's will? Or do you have will? Do you have free power? That's the question. And I think that a lot of times in astrology, people proliferate this notion that like, oh my God, you have this, so you are this, period. Like, you just are that, and that's what it is. Well, yes and no. You might have certain aspects that make you prone to experience certain energies and to express yourself in certain ways. Even aspects that imply certain foundational traumas or other factors of influence that are from your, childhood that are going to live on into your everyday life. But with that said, you are more than just those aspects, and you are not the experiences of those aspects that you had. Those are not the experiences of those aspects that you need to have for the rest of your life, because you are a powerful being and can choose to manifest different vibrations of that energy. You can choose to engage with different aspects and different levels of that incarnation, of that energy that is coming in from the aspect at play that we're talking about. Now, for example, let's say a person has a square. No, perfect example. Full moon. I just learned this is fascinating. Check it out. When you're born on a full moon, this is really indicative that the mother and the father in your real life that made you, the physical people that is, not necessarily the ones that you grew up with, but it could be the ones that you grew up with as well, if it's like an adoption scenario. They did not get along at a level of compatibility that is like, when two people, they get together, they're in a relationship and it's functioning and it's for a reason, but they don't really go together. There's like an inherent like disalignment, if you will, or misalignment, perhaps better stated. And so there's this sense of like, you're together, but you have like this incompatibility inherent within your very nature. And this becomes a psychological attribute, as I just spoke of it in the last sentence, as much as it is an indicator of what actually went down between your mother and your father in terms of their relationship and what it looked like, from your vantage point. So this is kind of like deep if you think about the fact that like we're talking about an aspect that's symbolizing the sun, being the father figure, and the moon being the mother figure, okay? And this becomes a part of your own psyche. This is like Freudian stuff. This is why so many astrologers who are really deep into like modern astrology are very like Freudian astrology, if I can call it that. It's probably its own sect of astrology by now, but I digress. Point being, like, we're talking about foundational things in your essence as a person, as an experience of being, okay? And so this translates into your life from an indicator in your birth chart of how the parents would play out. This becomes your expression. So are you caught? Are you doomed? Are you the person who's meant to live in the shadow of your parents' relationship and those dynamics and that dichotomy that was at play between their opposition? Are you doomed? No, you're not doomed, and I'm here today to talk about that. That's the whole point of this video. If you have this very placement, hypothetically, let's move along with this example as a representative of any given challenging aspect in a birth chart, okay? You are prone to have an opposition, yes, and inherently you do have some type of a disalignment or a misalignment between two aspects of your being. One aspect being the more male energied aspect of your being, one aspect being the more female aspect of your being, to simplify it in its most rudimentary forms. Or maybe your sense of consciousness and what you do out in the world and who you actually are as a person, sun, and what you actually stand for, who you serve, what you serve, that's the sun, okay, is somehow not aligned with how you feel, your soul, who you are at a feeling level, the person behind the steering wheel, the energetic goop that is the essence of your being, that is the sentience in your very existence. That's the moon. That's the moon, y'all. So that is somehow in misalignment or disalignment, like over here, between the sun. So you have like this opposition in your character. That's a deep aspect. But are you doomed? You're not doomed. No. Why? Because as I said in the beginning or middle portion of this video, there is a high and low manifestation to everything and different ways to manifest different energies. So take this very example. Say you're born on a full moon. The sun is in opposition to the moon in your birth chart, right? You could somehow manifest this opposition in a way that's far more constructive to your everyday reality between your consciousness and your emotional body. How? That's your spiritual to-do. That's the karmic riddle inherent within this very notion of am I doomed? Anytime there's a challenging aspect, there's always a higher level of manifestation. So it's up to you to find it. You can talk to astrologers and figure it out for yourself. They'll tell you something like, oh, you know, you have to reconcile who you think you are and who you feel you are, and you have to go and figure out what you're gonna go and do out in the world, and in your own relationships you have to watch for being really bipolar and like changing between your mental patterns and your emotional patterns and being kind of flippant and sporadic. But you can also read the internet will tell you a bunch of different things, but at the end of the day what's really gonna matter the most is how you figure out how to reconcile those two energies between yourself. And what do I mean by that? Yeah, it's going to be like a little bit of like, I am this person, but I feel like this person. What I am publicly and who I am publicly and what I serve doesn't feel as in alignment with who I actually am. I don't feel like I should be doing what I'm doing out here entirely. But that doesn't mean that you have this internal conflict to the degree where you don't feel like you don't know what to do with your life and you're paralyzed by the notion of like making a decision. Does it? No. Answer, it doesn't. There might be other indicators in the chart that imply that, but it's not going to ruin you. At the end of the day, it's going to be the force that what is that? Ooh, that expression. Decline or something, or challenge is the mother of invention. Challenge is the mother of invention. So you have this incredible opportunity at all times, because this becomes a natal chart placement that plays itself out throughout your everyday existence of your life. You have this opportunity to turn this perpetual state of this little flavor, if you will, of challenge into the mother of invention in your own creation, in the own storytelling that is your genius and your unfolding. Okay? That's what you got, baby. That's what you got. And we're gonna land this video on the most beautiful vantage point that I can possibly locally find. So if you stayed till the end, congratulations, and you have an opportunity. That's really the takeaway from this video. If you have a challenging birth chart, if you have challenging aspects, whoop-de-doo, man, you have an opportunity, a distinct opportunity to create the best possible reality for your unique karmic life, because you came through with that birth chart. Nobody else came through with that birth chart. It's yours. So you have the opportunity to make of it what you can and what you will, because it's free choice. What you will. It's free will, okay? And with that said, y'all, make sure you're subscribed. If you're not subscribed, why aren't you subscribed? I put out daily drops of wisdom and savvy cat astrology. That's right, every single day. So subscribe, hit the bell notification, like the video if it brought you some kind of value, okay? And be sure to share it with a friend. If you feel like you want to expand this mission of conscious astrology, constant wisdom drops, we are creating a space for conscious beings to come together and congregate on these very topics. Again, I'm open for Q&A, put a comment down below, and if you want a reading with me, you absolutely can. Just reach out to Wizdom Dropz, that's all Z's, @gmail.com, and I'll be sure to get in touch with you with my current rates and services. With that said, bless you, thank you, and may the stars be with you. Peace.